Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to What's a Story with me, the Library Lady. I am so glad that you are here today. I created the Library Lady channel, say that 3 times fast, to just share things all educational. I was a former classroom teacher, elementary school librarian. I have a master's in reading, a national board certification, and a Fulbright experience under my belt. And I have actually stepped away from the classroom for a little bit and just really miss my connection to teaching and to learning and to sharing my passion for books. And so I just felt like it was a good time with the onset of COVID. Unfortunately that occurred, but that then did springboard me to create this channel as a way to help and guide people looking for tips and ideas about education. Within that, I created What's the Story so that I could share great books with you. As a former teacher and as a parent, I do always love hearing about new books. So hopefully these will provide some great insight for you to use in your home or your classroom, even if it's a virtual one. Lots of schools are starting virtually this year, and it may be a good way to get some great reads in. So hopefully you'll enjoy it. If you're new here, welcome. Click subscribe so you don't miss out on any books, and stay tuned after the book review so that you can learn a little bit about how you can engage your reader or learner child at home or school with the book. So with no further ado, our first book today is The Invention of Hugo Cabret. It's by Selznick, published in 2007, and it actually won the 2008 Calecott Award, put out by Scholastic Publishing Company, and it is a fabulous, fabulous book. It was also turned into a movie, but as a librarian, I always have to give a warning, you must read the book first. So now if you have already seen the movie, too late, you can go back and read the book, but if you have not, definitely read the book first. One reason I love this book is it is huge. It is just a big book that kids think like, wow, look at that book, especially kids who maybe are a little bit older but maybe not quite on reading level. They want something that's big and makes them noticeable when they're holding their book, like, look at this big book I have. And this is a great job because it's a wonderful story, but so rich in pictures and illustrations that propel the story that they can use those pictures to help form the story as well as read as the text. The text is not so difficult that they're not going to be able to get it. Now there's going to be some vocabulary, they may need some help along the way, but it's a good balance of text and pictures. In fact, the first text doesn't even occur until page 46. It is covered with all these pictures. I mean, the illustrations are just fabulous. I cannot do them justice just on the video. But so let's take a little book look. If you are new here, I never read the whole book or even a large portion of it, just a small snippet so you can get a taste of it. And I encourage you to check your local library or bookstore. Supporting local businesses is great. If nothing else though, get it online and get your copy to get started today. So chapter kind of 1, if you will, as it starts through all the pictures, kind of propels Hugo, this young orphan boy living in a train station. And you see him as he encounters the train station and getting into his element. From his perch behind the clock, Hugo could see everything. He rubbed his fingers nervously against the small notebook in his pocket, and he told himself to be patient. The old man in the toy booth was arguing with the girl. She was about Hugo's age, and he often saw her go into the booth with a book under her arm and disappear behind the counter. The old man looked agitated today. Had he figured out some of his toys were missing? Well, there was nothing to be done about that now. Hugo needed the toys. The old man and the girl argued some more, and finally she closed her book and ran off. Thankfully, within moments, the old man had crossed his arms in front of him and closed his eyes. Hugo crept through the walls, came out through an air vent, and hurried down the hall until he reached the toy booth. Nervously, he rubbed the notebook one last time, then cautiously lowered his hand around the wind-up toy he wanted. But suddenly there was a movement from inside the booth, and the sleeping old man sprang to life. Before Hugo could run, the old man grabbed his arm. The little blue wind-up mouse Hugo had taken fell from his hand, skidded across the counter, and landed on the floor with a crack. "Thief! Thief!" the old man yelled down the empty hallway. "Someone call the station inspector!" At the mention of station inspector, Hugo panicked. He twisted and tried to get away, but the old man pulled hard on his arm and wouldn't let go. "I finally caught you. Now empty your pockets." So Hugo is this boy. He has lost his father in a fire, and originally thought that the book and sketches his father was working on to create an automaton, a robotic man, were lost. But Hugo has discovered the notebook. He was left to live with an uncle who has also disappeared, and so he's really left alone, just managing and taking care of the clocks in the train station, oiling them. It's set in 1930 Paris, so right there's a good opportunity to explore France and Paris. Where is it on a map in relationship to where you are, learning about some landmarks like the Eiffel Tower and Notre Dame, things like that. So that's a great avenue to explore when doing this book. But Hugo is after these toys in the toy booth to help work and build this automaton that was his father's dream. George Malaise, who's the owner of the toy shop, has caught him stealing the toys and is very interested in why Hugo wants these objects and part of the automaton. So it's just a wonderful story. It's his quest to kind of fulfill his father's dreams, the struggles he's encountered with George, and also interweaves the mix of motion picture, moving pictures. The first moving picture there mentioned in this book is the one from 1938 called The First Trip to the Moon, and you can actually YouTube that and see this picture and imagine the excitement and the thrill for people that they saw moving pictures. Today's world is so inundated with sound and media, but this was a novel concept. So I have to say the best advice for this is check out the resources Scholastic has. They have a teacher guide available online. I'll post that link in the comments below that has lots of activities and elements. A really cool thing is an interactive your child can do where they can actually drag pictures and images from the story and add text. So it's a good writing exercise. They even have paper, lined paper, or different design paper you can use too, and then print it, save it, different things like that, and it's fabulous. But definitely recommend doing a little research about Paris, using some of those sketches. There's a good interview with Brian Selznick about his journey in writing this book. I always think it's great for students to learn about the author and kind of where they came from in writing their story. You'll encounter a great girl named Isabel who Hugo befriends. It's just a wonderful story. Highly recommend it. It's just over about 500 pages or so. So it is a long book, but again, a large portion are illustrations, and it is just amazing. And then of course, after you read it, then you can see the movie. So thanks so much for tuning in to The Library Lady. Check out The Invention of Hugo Cabret. Don't forget to click subscribe so you stay tuned, and I'll see you next time on What's the Story. Happy reading, guys.